Hello, I am Wallace, the Polish toy guy. Today I'm going to review something that can be considered a bridge between a regular transformer and a non-transformer, and that is the Vroom Blox. This was created by Fat Brain Toy Co. and in Poland it's distributed by Colorful Balloons, the company that also provides me with Modaris and who actually did send me a second batch of Modaris with this as sort of sample bonus that I did request from them when they first mentioned that this exists to me. And what's really interesting about these toys from my personal standpoint is that they are made for children of age 1 and up, and that's interesting because usually I claim to not be interested in reviewing toys that are made for children that are less than 5 years old. And this toy pretty much made me break this vow because it really interested me with what it does. So here they are. 3 colourful pieces of plastic that resemble the shape of a cube, though it's not a perfect cube as these walls are around 6 centimeters wide and only 5.5 tall. So not a perfect cube, but this does seem like a sturdy piece of plastic, but also lightweight enough that a small kid will be able to take it in their small hands without any problems, and I do not expect this to break apart upon hitting something when it's thrown by said children. And it's also quite colourful, with the base colour of the plastic being one thing and colourful detailed stickers being another. And considering the built-in creativity of a child with 1 year on its calendar, there's not really all that much you can do with them right now, apart from doing, well, what most kids do with these kind of toys. Stack them up. Like this. Or like this. Or perhaps in any other configuration you can think of. For us adults this may be dull, but for kids of that age, including myself, from what I remember, this was really fascinating, even if we usually played with things that were from wood and had a number or letter embedded on them, but this also serves this purpose, and I think this could easily be connected to other structures made from these other types of material, so plastic plus wood, no problem. But these things do more than just look nice, and this wheel on the side does hint at a more advanced feature, as do these stickers that actually include details that make this look like a vehicle that was put through a trash compactor at a junkyard. So it's time to reveal the big surprise that Vroom Blox have inside. And this big feature is, of course, that they transform, and I did call these things a bridge between a non-transformer and a transformer because these transformations are really simple, and fans of, shall I say, regular transformers might actually laugh these off as something not fitting the name of a transformer. But in my opinion, this transformation is really impressive in its simplicity, so let's dive into it. What you have to do is to grab this, one hand on one side, one hand on the other side, and now you pull it apart, and when you do it and lift these pieces up in the air, you can see that some pieces that were hidden inside go up and together form a small car. Let's do it again, because this is really fun. It's so simple, but when you see these things actually turn from a almost cube into a car, it is really impressive to me. Just look at that. Simple motions, this elevates. If this catches the eye of someone who is over 20 years old like me, then I can imagine that a small one-up kid might be really impressed by this, even if chances are he or she will not fully comprehend what's happening in their hands. But still, it's really amazing. Fat Brain Toy, this was such a simple idea and you made it really entertaining even for me. So what we get are 3 cars that are shaped like triangles with soft squares, and the amusing thing about these are you can still stack them up using their design principles. If you just reverse one, put them on the floor like that, because with such a construction it's fully possible. And now you can stack them up again. It's not a perfect fit, because as you can see, we have this hinge that blocks this straight line from happening, but nonetheless you can actually stack them up in this mode, which also adds some further play value, even if it does look silly. But then again, this is made for kids that are 1 year old or more. Why shouldn't it be silly? And I do admit that these toys would be rather plain without these stickers. Just 3 chunks of perceived plastic connected together with some small tires at the bottom. Nothing to write home about, but with these stickers they actually get a lot of character. As now, these function as most of the car details, and they work rather nicely. And as you can see, each of these cars does not only have, well, car details, but also, and this is actually a gimmick that's advertised at the packaging, they have a small animal companion who should help the human main character in doing whatever this said car is designed for. So with a fireman we have a Dalmatian, because fire people always get Dalmatians for help. With the police force we get a puppy. And for some reason with the ambulance we get a cat. How is that supposed to help with saving people? I don't know. But then again, kids' logic, why should I even think about it? What's also quite interesting to me about this is that, in a way, these are quite modern, in that we have a fireman who is clearly, well, shall we say, pale or white. We have the doctor, perhaps, who is clearly of some non-white origin. And we also have a police lady, so this is not made only for strictly white kids and strictly not only for boys. And I know that kids at age 1+ may not think much about this, but if you are a bit older, you can appreciate such a small detail and the diversity that comes with it. Also, one thing that might be of interest to people, and maybe that's even expected from something that transforms into a car, how does it roll? I'll be very honest with you, not all that well, mostly because these wheels are both thin and attached through not a very rolly solution. So yes, this does move even a bit with applied force, but it's not enough to make it really smooth like a Hot Wheels type toy. But if you are a small kid, chances are you're always on the manual, so you don't even notice this. Also, fun fact, I don't know how you called cars when you were a kid. I'm curious, tell me in the comments, but when I was a kid, I always called these Vroom Vroom. And now it's time for comparisons, so you know how these toys, well, stack up against other toys in the size department. So looking at the background, on the left we have the fairly new Last Night Movie Deluxe Bumblebee, and next to him, standing on one of our almost cubes, is Legends Willy from Transformers Titans Return, and next to him is Dark of the Moon Deluxe MechTech Ratchet. And in front of Ratchet we have both an example Modari toy and also Power Surge Deluxe Optimus Prime, the Toys R Us version in vehicle mode. And before the red almost cube we have an example Lego minifigure. And this review could not be complete without the common cola can, €1 coin and $1 bill. And I'm starting to think I really should get my hands on some yen coins to complete the yes trinity. So, to sum it all up, I really like Vroom Blox. From the target audience standpoint, these are dual mode toys that may spark the kids' imagination. Stackable blocks in one mode, actual playable cars in the other, and the transition between these two is so simple and perhaps even intuitive for someone in the age where you get everything you can in your hands and probe it in many ways. This may just come off as natural. And from an adult standpoint, I also find this quite catchy. There's something very amusing in this simple transformation motion, seeing how these halves come together to form the top of the car. And I admit the car maybe not functioning all that well considering the construction of the tires, but still, this very transformation, the fact that we start with something like that and end up with something like that, even when I'm as old as I am, this is quite impressive and fun, and I think that this way parents will be able to enjoy these toys together with their kids. Perhaps not all that long, but still I think they will find some understanding while playing these, so that's great. Really nice idea. I'm wondering if Fat Brain Toy will create more models of these, maybe not with more sticker and occupation patterns, but perhaps with a different or slightly more advanced transformation scheme. That's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing new releases from that line. So yes, in fewer words, I like it. I think it's worth a try if you're a transforming toy enthusiast or just a parent who wants to give something creative to their small children. And that's all for this video review. I will be back with the next one soon, and until then, stay well.